the sentence on page 2, line 2 and 3, public comment shall be limited to items listed on the meeting agenda. We're removing that sentence. And the problem we have is some school districts are not allowing public comment unless it's on the agenda specifically, and school board superintendents and chairs are not allowing them to put items on the agenda either. And then they're being told that they can't necessarily talk to board members outside of the school board meeting. So these are elected people representing patrons in their district, and they need the ability to speak to their school board members or the board. And so it's just really a cleanup bill trying to allow the public to comment. In my mind, if they won't let you on the agenda and they won't allow you to just do public comment, maybe even 30 seconds to say, hey, the football team won and I want to give this award or something, it's becoming a problem. So
yes, it is. Thank you, Senator Carlson. It is becoming a problem. And I have personal experience with this. Last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was, when we were trying to deal with the transgender, males thinking they're girls going into girls' bathrooms, I was trying to contact my school board to talk to them about the policy that was or wasn't on the books at the time. And I said, I want to come in and talk to you about this. Even talk to you individually. And I was told you couldn't talk to your school board member individually. You couldn't go have a meeting with them, because then you couldn't go have a meeting with another school board member, because then you would be somehow violating open meeting laws, because because it's supposed to all happen in public. Okay. Well, if it's all supposed to happen in public and I show up to a school board meeting and that topic is not on the agenda and I'm only allowed to talk about agenda items, and I show up to give my public comment and I start down that road and they go, "Oh, that's not on the agenda, sir. You can't say that." Then what am I supposed to do? I can write an op-ed in the paper. I can go on this show here and talk about it. I can rally folks around in the neighborhood to talk about it. But you can't talk to anybody. That's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And so the bill ended up having to go to the amending order because they wanted to play with some language. And so we'll inquire with Senator Carlson about that. And is she on? Oh, she's in. Oh, great. Well, if she's ready, let's bring up Senator Cindy Carlson. There you are. Look at that. Speak of you, and you appear like a genie. It's good to see you, Senator.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah, so we just played part of your opening statement presentation on that bill yesterday, where you kind of laid out how patrons can't talk to their school board members one-on-one. They can't show up to a meeting if it's not on the agenda and talk about a specific item. And this is becoming a real problem. And I just relayed something that happened to me where I was told I couldn't do those things that you laid out there. It looked like that there was support for this bill or for this change, but it got sent to the amending order. And I don't quite understand where the contention was or where it's headed. So can you kind of give a little insight of what you hope to see and if you were supportive of some of the changes that they might want to make?
Well, they didn't really identify the changes they wanted to make.
I didn't think so.
I was not really given the opportunity to finish out the presentation. I think it was just forgotten. And I think that the committee members just decided to send it to the amending order to save the bill, in my opinion. I do not know why Senator Zito was not given a second. I think maybe it was just too quick, or they weren't really sure how the rest of the committee would vote. So it was just kind of, see if you can fix it and get the floor to pass it.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So there was some quick thinking there, because I would have assumed that maybe Senator Nichols would have seconded it. But maybe if she did, that you think it might have just failed and then the bill would have been dead. So
right. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. I mean, this was the Senate Education Committee, which is a lot different makeup than you had last year are you still on this committee, however?
Oh yeah. Yes.
You
I'm
are.
still.
Yeah. But the numbers are a little bit different when it comes to some good allies on that committee I'm aware of.
Right. We're not really sure how most of us are going to vote at the moment. We kind of think how we know how some of the members will vote, but not certain.
Yeah. So what was the thought behind this? Because you said this is sort of a cleanup bill. Now, last year, was this a cleanup from a bill last year?
Yeah. Yeah. Last year it was Senate Bill 1361, I believe.
Yeah. And so was this sort of like an unintended consequence that happened where boards were now restricting people's right to free speech, basically?
Exactly. So when we originally drafted it, that sentence wasn't in there, and I think it was added because as the Idaho School Boards Association, I think, wanted that in there, and I agreed to it last year, thinking that okay, well, we'll just see how it works. Well, it seems to, in my experience, it's not working that great in a few in a few school districts. I think for the most part, most school districts are th- they're they're using the bill as it should be, but some of them are kind of limiting their board members to them talking, not being able to talk to them when they're out and about, and not being able to talk to the board during the meeting. No public comment, and they've one school district started a town hall, and they've stopped that town hall. The town hall was before the meetings. So it's, for me, it's just trying to make sure that the public has access to the board. The board does not have to answer. It's just giving input to the board, and we're not looking for the opponents of this bill think it's going to be a free for all. It's the board sets the agenda, they set the rules. As long as you follow the rules that the board has already adopted, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And look, I've been to school board meetings where things got out of control, but it wasn't because of public comment. It was simply because of a policy that, the people didn't like, whether it was the masking issue or critical race theory and things like that. It certainly didn't have anything to do with people just abusing the public comment aspect of it. And the other thing about not being able to have a meeting with a school board member, you and I are talking. I know you don't directly represent me, but you and I are talking. I've met with my representatives and senators and so forth. Why are school board trustees so off limits?
I'm not sure, but other than it, the opposition to that is if they have to be the jury per se in maybe a personnel issue or any kind of an issue that comes up. They don't really want school board members to individually talk about topics that should be reserved, especially for executive session. But most board members, that's a training issue. You can train the board members to understand the difference between one topic or another.
Yes, I agree
Or
with that.
situation.
Yeah. I mean, we're all adults here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the folks that just love power and control and wanting to control everything.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Well, it's going to the amending order. I mean, at least it's still alive, and hopefully you can figure out exactly what it is people want amended, and keep this thing alive and really open. I mean, this is a First Amendment issue. This is a free speech issue, and so
It is.
we're going to keep tabs on it. Now that I got you here, anything else coming down the pike that you'd like folks to know about that you're working on?
Oh, most of what I'm working on is in JFAC, the JFAC budgets. I'm working
yes.
on the education budget, higher ed and K through 12, and that's very daunting. Usually when you start a business, it takes a couple years just to get up to speed, and it's a pretty steep learning curve. So JFAC is a very steep learning curve for those of us on JFAC that are brand new, and there's 10 new members. So but when I look around, it's way more conservative than it used to be. And so I think we're going to get some good budgets, and I mean, we're going to be able, but that's mostly what I'm concentrating on at the moment. So unfortunately, I don't have any wonderful news for you about some exciting bill to run, but
No, that's good. You being on JFAC is fantastic. And the fact that you even had 10 minutes to join me here is amazing too, being on JFAC, because I know you guys are busy all the time.
yeah, every day is crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you get back to it. I really appreciate you coming on. I know everybody's been is dying to hear from you, and so that's really great. So thank you again, Senator. We'll check in
Thank
with you
you.
again.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
great.